Hello, Grand Rising beloveds. Thanks for tuning Blaque in once again to Authentic Black Goddess TV. I'm your host, QueenAShakur, and this is the 4th morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get into it. So they say the internet backs a woman who has branded her mother-in-law as racist over some slick and greasy comments that she's been making about her own grandchildren. So they say the woman says her mother-in-law is a racist, says she's a racist bitch, and made slick comments about her children and other Black people. Now, she says the woman... Hold on, let me get this together, get these pop-ups. Okay, so the Black woman, who's 32 years old, explained that her 34-year-old white husband's mother has repeatedly made racist comments, including talking about an Asian cashier's eyes. And now she's talking about her own grandchildren. So after revealing that she was pregnant, the woman said her mother-in-law, who she called Lisa, said that she hoped the child would have blue eyes and claimed that she was upset when her daughter was born with brown eyes. This is what the grandmother said, honey. Now, the woman said her mother-in-law also made an offensive comment when her grandson was born. She says Lisa did not even try to hide her disappointment. My son was born with hazel eyes and his hair is also lighter than his sister's. She made a sly comment saying, "You can't have everything," insinuating that my daughter was blessed to have lighter skin and looser hair, and my son was blessed to have pretty eyes. That's what she said. You can't have everything. Now, when the poster brought it up with her husband of 6 years, she claimed that he brushed it over and said his mother was a product of her time. So he's making excuses for his mother, Karen. You see, this is one of the problems that you have to deal with sometimes when you are married or dating interracially. Okay, because here's the thing. Even if you feel like the person you're with, your mate, isn't racist, I'm quite sure they have family members, friends, or coworkers who are, that they associate and deal with on a daily basis. Now, but the tension between the family members spilled over at a party that the couple hosted to celebrate their anniversary. They say the final straw for the woman came when her mother-in-law introduced her as her Black daughter-in-law to all her friends. I mean, the nerve of it, right? She had to emphasize it. I mean, they couldn't see that the woman was Black. She had to say it. Now, after the woman pulled Lisa to one side and told her to stop, the mother-in-law snapped back and said, "You're my daughter-in-law and you're Black. You people are sensitive." That's what she said. You people, not you people. She didn't hit her with that, did she? She said, "You people are sensitive." Now, in a moment of anger, the woman called Lisa a racist bitch. Well, I can't blame her for that, honey. I cannot. Now, the woman claimed after she made the comment, everyone at the party turned against her and that she and her husband later argued about the point she made. Yeah, you know why her and her husband argued? Because her husband didn't appreciate her calling out his mother's racism. And that's the problem. I don't know why some Black people don't realize that. You can date whoever you want, but at the end of the day, be willing to put up with the consequences of your choices. Now, she said everyone at the party turned against her. Well, that's because they were all Caucasians. And clearly, they don't mind the mother-in-law being racist and saying hateful racist things about her own grandchildren. And also, they don't want the Black woman to call any of it out. So, of course, they got mad when she referred to her as a racist bitch. And so the woman claimed that after she made the comments, everyone at the party turned against her. Okay, now, her and her husband got into an argument. And the woman said her husband later went to stay at his mother's house. So I want y'all to pay attention, honey. He said, here's the thing. You can sit there and act like these people are allies, some of them. You can marry them, date them, or whatever, procreate with them. At the end of the day, honey, they're going to side with Team Wannabe Supremacy. That's just what it is, because that's where they get their privilege. And they're not going to cut that off just for you. All right? You don't have anything to give them as the means of helping them, further their future or whatever. You can't grant them their privilege. Their system of wannabe supremacy does. So with that all being said, you think they're going to choose sides with you, Black people, or with wannabe supremacists? I'm just saying, make it all make sense. That's what she can't do. And now she's complaining. But see, this is her fault. Now, she knew before she married this man and had children with him, she should have known that she didn't, unless she was just blinded under a rock. But she should have known something like this would happen, because I'm sure she had to have known if she met the mother-in-law prior to marrying him, which likely she did. She likely knew that the mother-in-law was racist. So Why would you want your children who are going to be born Black, right? Biracial with Black in them. Why would you want them to be in the company of a woman who's their grandmother and she's a whole racist? She should have had pause, and she should have had cause for concern early on in the relationship, honey. I'm just saying, she brought this on herself and on her children, unfortunately. Now, unsurprisingly, the post attracted hundreds of comments and was upvoted more than 16,000 times since it was uploaded on Sunday. Now, many of those commenting backed the woman and believed that the mother-in-law had behaved in a racist way. On one Reddit user said, TNA, we don't apologize to racists, but it's very concerning that your husband doesn't see this. Well, honey, he sees it. He sees it because he knows that his mother is racist, okay? And there's racism within him too. That's the thing. You see, the difference is he's able to suppress his racism to a certain degree, whilst his mother isn't, nor are the friends and family. But at the end of the day, he's absolutely siding with them in their racism because he got mad and argued with his wife, who was absolutely, right and justified in what she said. It was true. She's a racist bitch. So for him to get mad and upset and to the point that he argues with his wife, whose back he should have, honey, he had his mother's back. And that's just how it's always going to be with teen wannabe supremacy, honey. Y'all don't remember when George Floyd was killed and his white fiance, Karen, came out and said that, oh, this isn't what he would want. He was a Christian. He wouldn't want us out here protesting and all of that. How is she going to speak to what he would want when he's dead? And then second of all, what she was trying to do was defend wannabe supremacy. She didn't want Black people out there rioting and protesting, even though it was her fiance who was killed by the police who were white. Or at least Derek Chauvin was white. Now, goes on to say, another person posted and said, even more concerning is that the husband went to go stay with Mommy Dearest after point blank defending her racism. Absolutely unacceptable. Well, honey, I'm going to say this to her, the woman who's complaining. When you lie down with dogs, don't get mad if you wake up with fleas. That's just it. Now, a third commenter posted, if racism can be excused as being a product of her time, then can't OP standing up for herself, and that's the original poster when they say OP, the woman who posted it. Can't OP standing up for herself be excused as also being a product of her time? Husband is spineless and needs to stand up at least for his kids. But others tried to understand the son's behavior, adding, I wouldn't say that. He probably isn't racist. He is just blind to the realities of what's going on. Honey, please miss me with all that Mayo Explained 101 from the handbook, no less. He is not blind to what's going on. He absolutely knows what's going on. This man knew from day one since he was a kid growing up in the household with his mother that she was a whole racist. He knew this. He knew this. And at the end of the day, we can't make exceptions and explanations and excuses for people by saying they're a product of their time because times change. Okay, times change. Nothing stays the same. So at the end of the day, if you're racist, no matter how old you are, you're racist because you choose to be, not because the times have made you stay that way. This isn't Jim Crow, but I know some of them still think it is. But at the end of the day, honey, she knows right from wrong. And for her to be so racist and hateful towards her own grandchildren, that's absolutely deplorable, honey. That's why you have to be careful who you lie down with, who you procreate with. And you also should be careful of who you marry and choose for your mates. I mean, the consequences can absolutely be devastating for your children. I'm just saying. Okay? And some of these grandparents call their own children the N-word, just so you know. And so... But others tried to understand the son's behavior or whatever. Like I said, they tried to explain it by saying that he didn't understand the realities of what's going on. He needs to understand it. He has 2 mixed kids. They need him to understand. Well, he does understand, honey. He's just taking the side of his mother. And that's what the wanton supremacists always do, side with their own. Now, I'm not saying I blame them. What I'm saying is Black people need to start following suit and siding with your own. Okay? Then you won't have these issues. All right, so now, according to a 2019 study by the Pew Research Center, 69% of Black Americans say being white helped people to get ahead in the United States. Now, a large number of Asian participants in the study agreed, with 73% of the respondents approving that statement. The report also found that Black people were more likely to say they were treated less fairly than white people. Well, of course, this is all common sense. I mean, you don't need a study to tell us that, do we? Including when seeking medical treatment and voting in elections. All so crazy and clearly said, honey. But anyway, like I said, honey, you have to deal with the consequences of your actions. And that's just what it is. So all I can say to her is good luck to you raising your children with a racist grandmother and a spineless husband who condones and justifies her racist BS by saying that she's a product of her time. Honey, this is the hand that you chose, not the one you were dealt. You picked these cards. So, hey, don't play the race card now, as they would say, the wanted supremacists, because you asked for it, and that's what you got. That's all I have to say. So everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. And drop me a comment to let me know what you think about this situation. I mean, do you feel like the woman should have known better or she should have expected this? Because like I said, I absolutely believe she knew that this woman, Lisa, was racist from the get-go. I mean, she obviously met this woman before they got married and walked down the aisle. So she should have known that this would happen. I mean, maybe she thought or hoped and wished that after she had the children, that the woman would be more loving and accepting because those would be her grandchildren. Honey, let me tell you something. Racist people do not ever think logically. They don't exercise common sense. They have no possession of critical thinking skills. And what they also don't have is empathy or sympathy, honey, for Black people. It doesn't even matter if those Black people are their own grandchildren. And that's just the facts. All right, so with that all being said, please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell, click the word all, and I hope to see you all in the next chat for your daily vitamins later today. Peace.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another Black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is Black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a Black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my Black shoes by the Black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man that go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Amadeus.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Amadeus.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Amadeus.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Amadeus.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Amadeus.
So the